You know, I actually almost forgot what this anthem was. It's been that long.
God, that's a terrible thing, dude, because this is fantastic.
Yeah, no. I'm just saying, that's just my way of saying that. I miss you.
I miss you too.
Good to see you. You've been everywhere, man. I mean,
yeah.
You need an assistant with an assistant to keep up with all of your travels.
Yeah, well, Jason, maybe it's not a bad thing because it seems like I was on a post-Olympic tour. Imagine that.
Exactly.
I didn't even compete. But you know what? Listen, here's the thing for me. Being busy is something that I love. Doing things, meeting people, making appearances, making a difference, making some money. Those are all things that I enjoy. So it's not a bad thing. Not a bad thing for me to be out there spreading the word and bringing hopefully good things to people and enhancing people's thoughts and lives going forward.
Very influential. Yes, you are, Mr. Bailey. I almost feel like we should have changed the anthem and been like, guess who's back? Back again. Bailey's back. Bailey's back. Bailey's back. Bailey's back. We don't need Shady. We need Bailey. Bailey's back. Bailey's back.
Don't, Jason. Don't. It's not a good thing there. But I don't know there's any subscribers out there that is tuning in or subscribing to hear you lace out some.
Good to know the rudeness is so good. That's all right.
Some hip hop.
Yeah,
tunes.
Clearly he's missed me. You heard him say
dude.
he missed me, right? He missed me.
Great to see you
with every bullet so far that he's fired. That's okay. Yes, we are back. Glad to have you along with us. Please remember to like, share, follow, download, subscribe, be a part of this podcast. Donovan Bailey Running Things. Yeah, so it is good to see you. A lot has happened post-Olympics. There's a lot to cover. We're going to try and recap as much as we can. Obviously, we're also going to look ahead to 2025 because what happens towards the end of this year really helps us project for next season.
Oh, for sure. I mean, this is... it's a very interesting year. There certainly are new established stars that the whole world now, the non-track world is getting to know. There's some young cats that are coming up, or young lions or lioness that are coming up. Mm-hmm. There are some people that, I'm saying this, there's some veterans out there that are looking at what are they going to do next year?
Yes, good point.
Where are they going to go? Is it the end of the road? So yeah, you know what? Always good
to belong together.
Oh, Josh, here we go.
And you know that I'm right.
Don't do it, man. Don't do it. Don't do it. All right. I'm saying to you that it's pretty. It is pretty important for us to, sit down and have dialogue on what some of these people are going to be doing. I mean, there's certainly, we've got some of the best athletes in the world that had injuries or that had things that affected their season. We got to look at, are they at a crossroads where they have to make decisions? Mm-hmm. So yeah, man, I mean, let's get to it.
All right. We will do exactly that. Our race of the week, as always, brought to you by our good friends at Biopods. Biopods.com. Empower your every step. Let's get it.
Coleman gets out fast as you'd expect. Blake is right there with him as well. Fred Curley with some work to do. It's Blake and Coleman in the front at the moment. Coleman might just have this one. It's going to be close, but Blake hangs in. Blake gets the win.
This is exactly what I expected. A little bit late, though, because that's what I was expecting in the Olympics. Not only was he good early, he was good late.
Yeah, man. Ackeem is, we're talking about someone who's like unknown outside of the track world. Obviously, as a Jamaican, he was the third Jamaican, fastest or third best known Jamaican. Ackeem Blake is someone that established himself as one of the best in the world. The expectation,
not second best.
Well,
behind Kishane.
Kishane and Oblique, man. Remember, first of all, we can get into that too. But remember that I expected that Kishane and Oblique were both going to be in the podium, but I expected Ackeem to be at least in the finals.
Yeah,
but either way,
you're right. It's Oblique. But that was my pick. Either you're right. That's a good call.
Either way, Ackeem, clearly, I'm so happy for him that he didn't make the finals as was expected, but he's still young. He's also working through his execution, especially on the highest level, and the lights are shining brightest. He stuck around after the Olympic Games, got into a few competitions, and then of course at the Diamond League finals, he got himself a gold medal. Not the one that he probably wanted, but he got himself one. Made himself a little money, and also at least for his. I'm very certain for his personal expectation, got a victory that's well deserved. So you know what, I love that he finished the season, or is finishing the season on top. It's the World Indoor Championships is coming up next year. The World Outdoors is coming up next year. It's going to be very interesting what he does. But I'm very happy to see what he did. And again, post Olympics, man, I think it's a good look for him.
Yeah, so obviously Seville was, second, you're right. And Seville was the guy I had pegged in terms of
winning.
Paris, yes.
Right.
You're right. And Ackeem, you know what? Now hope springs eternal. Looking forward to next season, right?
Right.
Because, if you can hang with Christian Coleman early in the race, that's saying something. He was right there with him. Well, that's not easy to do.
Well, you don't have to hang with them, especially when if you're executing properly, especially someone like Ackeem, who's a bigger, taller, stronger sprinter. Well, we'll just say that based solely on stature, right? Christian is the fastest man ever, over 60 meters. So yes, Ackeem, the perfect thing for him to do is to ensure that you can stay with someone, understand their rhythm over the first 30, 40, 50 meters in the 100 meters. And then, of course, when you stand up and you start to extend, then your speed should be more superior to someone who's shorter. But, Christian, again, again, we're talking about Ackeem and how we executed that race. At the end of the day, we all know that Christian Coleman was extremely disappointed to not be top 3 in the U.S. trials.
Right.
If there's going to be a shocker, is that Christian Coleman was not on the U.S. 100 meter team. So you talk about another guy who post Olympics, had some soul searching to do, and also the fumble in the relay. But Christian had some soul searching to do, and I'm glad that he finished, or is finishing the season running good. He didn't win the Diamond League finals, but he's well, and I'm very certain if I know the athlete that I've followed over the years, because I don't know Christian. If I know the athlete that I've followed, then I know that he's gonna go on a tear indoors. He's gonna go on a tear indoors, and then he's gonna come out and go on a tear outdoors. So again, Jason, we're talking about Ackeem Blake and Christian Coleman, and both of those athletes, finished the year in places where they didn't think that they were going to be. And I think that they're both going to get on a tear. Christian for sure, I know, is going to get on a tear indoors. Hopefully to bring that outdoors, barring injuries and all that. But both of them are going to be. It's going to be good, man. The hands of track and field, are amazing with at least 2 of these young guys.
Blake, Coleman, Curley, top 3 in terms of that Diamond League final at Brussels. We'll talk the ladies in a second. So Jamaica wins that event. What about the other Jamaican? You spoke of Kishane Thompson.
Right.
Haven't seen him since Paris.
Well, you know what? Here's the thing. I'm probably not worried for Kishane. We know that Kishane, frankly, Noah Lyles is the Olympic champion, and that's an honor that he has forever. The expectation was that Kishane Thompson was going to be, and for a couple of thousandths of a second, he wasn't. Obviously, what we saw in Paris was Kishane's maybe lack of experience in executing when there's people on the shoulder, and we haven't seen that. I think that it's been reported that there's some injuries, at least from my sources, and I think from yours and what's been reported. But what I want to see from Kishane is just maybe getting on the circuit and just getting used to, I guess in boxing they call it ring rust, so we call it race rust. Mm-hmm. Just getting out there and executing, and we know that he's going to be with every single person that's running today. He's going to be with them up until 50, 60, 70 meters. And for him to separate himself from any of those athletes, he simply needs to relax and let the race come to him, especially when he's decelerating. So hopefully I'll see that. Hopefully all his injuries post Olympics is healed, and his team in Jamaica can get him ready so he can start actually running, because that's really what he's lacking right now. He needs to be inside of a race so he can adjust accordingly in the middle of the race, because clearly that's the only reason why I believe personally that he wasn't the Olympic champion, but he's not. He's a silver medalist, and rightfully so. But I have huge expectations for him in the next year, like not even the next coming years. I have a huge expectations for him next year.
Yeah, didn't run much this year, so considering the lack of experience, impressive. Very, very impressive. Lost by that much, as we all know, in Paris. Noah Lyles, if you're him, how do you feel? Kind of an up and down season for him. I mean, we're expecting him to be the 200 champ, finishes third in Paris. We all know that. Won the 100.
Right.
Many of us weren't expecting that.
Right.
Gets the COVID thing, doesn't get a chance to compete in the 4x1. Obviously, it was still a good year, but what's your assessment?
Great year.
Okay.
Are you kidding me? I mean, listen, here's the thing that that every 100-meter sprinter in the world is vying for. You're the fastest human being on the planet, right?
Yep.
You can lose every single race and execute just one. As long as it's the one, and you ran a fast time. I mean, the fact is the guy went to the Olympics, he didn't run 10-1. He didn't run 9.99. I'm saying to you that he had a great year. Absolutely. I mean, Noah Lyles is everywhere, doing everything. He told you that he was going to win the 100, and I think he was shocked that he won the 100, right? So at the end of the day, you got to give the guys flowers, man. I mean, he did. I mean, I don't care if you don't like his personality. I don't care if you don't like the things that he says. You know, at the end of the day, I personally don't find him offensive. He's been a great ambassador for track and field, and he's finished the year, and he can tell the world that he's the fastest man in the world, that he ran the fastest in the world. So at the end of the day, to wrap up Noah Lyles' season, again, you can, I mean, by the way, he didn't lose every race. So I'm just saying to you that I'm telling you about the fundamental business model. He ran consistently all year. He talked about winning, and he won. So he's number one. He'll finish number one. What better title? I mean, you're the fastest man in the world, and you're ranked number one in the world, man. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it.
Fair enough. Africans, let's focus there now, because you have Ferdinand Omanyala, Omanyala, if you prefer, still the second co-fastest time with that 9.79. I know he didn't get what he wanted at the Olympics. You have Simbini, who represented like he always does, but obviously the headliner is the guy by the name of Letsile Tebogo. Didn't win the 200 in the final. Lost to Kenny Bednarek. We'll talk more Kung Fu in a second, but a solid year again for the Africans, led by Tebogo.
Dude, listen, man, this is such an incredible changing of the guard. The Africans have discovered that they can run fast too. They not only can run long,
right,
but they can run fast. And you have an entire continent of incredible stars. First of all, thank you for the pronunciation. Letsile Tebogo is track and field's next greatest star, and it's one of its biggest ambassadors.
Next or right now?
Next. Okay. I mean, the next meaning that, well, it's right now. Okay. But I'm just saying to that, again, he's established himself at the Olympic Games, but he's everywhere now. Or at least I hope that I see him everywhere now. Good kid, humble, but that's his personality. It is what it is. He is incredible. You know that I've been big on him for many years now, Jason.
Yeah.
But I just think that he's the next greatest thing. I mean, it's incredible that people don't actually see the similarities between him and the great Usain Bolt. The fact is that Letsile has he's probably walked past the weight room a couple of times. You know that he can pack on another 10 pounds of muscle, and which means that his power over the first 30 meters in the 100 meters will be incredible. Again, meaning that he is a guy today that we know that if training goes well, nutrition goes well, therapy goes well, he can come out next day and run 9.6. We already know that. Okay, the Africans are incredible, man. I mean, again, you've got Sambini, who's again a veteran from South Africa, but he's leading a squad of I like great young South African sprinters. Great. I mean, you've got the world junior champion under 20 from South Africa. I mean, most of the relay team that was there are young. I mean, and so it is fantastic, man. Amanyala, again, the guy that I thought was my biggest disappointment in Paris. He finished the season pretty consistent. He knows what's going on now, and hopefully his team has figured out when he needs to be ready to peak, right? But again, he's from Kenya. There is a ton of other sprinters. He is leading the way. So I'm just telling you, Jason, just like Jamaica is ripe and ready, and we have a great we'll say business model or grassroots training program of track and field. The entire continent of Africa is coming, man. And I'm saying to you, it's going to start next year at the World Championships. I'm going to be what we're looking at is this incredible wave of young sprinters from the continent of Africa. I mean, we can name all the countries that are going to be shining in Los Angeles in 4 years. I mean, it's going to be incredible. So yes, you asked me the question about the Africans. Man, the Africans are coming, man, and I love it,
Want to shout out Kenny Bednar quickly because he won in 1967. That is another sub 1970 for him. In fact, he and only one other runner, that being Noah Lyles, have run sub 1975 or more times. That's a pretty elite group that Kenny Bednar is in. Well,
Kenny is been very consistent and been quiet. That's I mean, Kenny is the quiet American, man. I mean, he's ran very well and he ran very consistent. And so again, he's still also very young and still adjusting. He's also another guy, Jason, that can go 1, 2, and 4, right? So he's also a triple threat. So again, congratulations to him, winning Diamond League again. Maybe he didn't get the medal he thought he deserved in Paris, but winning Diamond League says something, and you also get some pocket change.
Yeah, we're going to talk a little money a little bit later on. Courtney Lindsay got a nice little taste as a youngster. Looking forward to his 2025. Yeah. Arian Knight went through some stuff. Didn't get a chance to race much. Fred Curley. So the list goes on and on. Quickly to the women. Because Julien Alfred, she won the Diamond League final in 10.88, beating Dina Asher-Smith.
Right.
And Talou, Marie-Josée was the top three there. But Julien, for me, this was a breakthrough campaign, her first full one as a pro.
Julien Alfred could have easily been our race of the day for the program today.
Easily.
Yeah.
Easily.
I mean, Julien Alfred, remember we talked about this, and I just mentioned, you asked me about the season that Noah Lyles had. We can talk about the season that Julien Alfred had.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
This is her first full season. Season in track and field. She's the Olympic champion. Mm-hmm. She's the Diamond League champion. So the two majors that happened this year, they've got Julien Alfred on that list. So yeah, Prime Minister of St. Lucia, give her day and give her every single thing she deserves.
That's what Tebogo got, by the way. His own national holiday as a 21-year-old.
And Julien Alfred deserved absolutely everything for being the greatest St. Lucian Olympic champion so far. So yeah, Julien Alfred, again, her journey, from St. Lucia to Jamaica to Texas to now the top of the world. Congratulations. Congratulations. She deserves every single thing that she's getting. I mean, she's went to the Olympics and came away with what? Olympic champion, and then go and get silver in the deuce, beaten by the great Gabby Thomas. I mean, you know what?
Yes.
She's had speaking of two incredible ambassadors for our sport, dude. Imagine Julien Alfred and Gabby Thomas. Think about that, dude. Think about when we talk about real people, real stars, real athletes. I mean, and I encourage a lot of these corporate sponsors to look at some of these athletes that I'm talking about. Please look at them and sponsor them and help them in their pursuit for adding to their greatness at the World Championships next year and going forward in life. But yeah, think about Julien Alfred, think about Gabby Thomas. Think about them as ambassadors. Letsile Tebogo, Kenny Bednarik. I mean, think about all these incredible people and other athletes. By the way, this is not just obviously I'm a little biased because I'm a sprinter, but I was a sprinter. But yeah, Julien Alfred, stellar season, was consistent all year. We talked about some of the early season stuff of some of these athletes, but you know what? Based upon their training and their training program and all that, they peaked at the right time. Winning in Paris and now winning, in Brussels. So again, congratulations to Miss Alfred. She's incredible, and yes, to the island of St. Lucia, she deserves everything and more. That you're giving to her.
Alfred and Tebogo as my rising stars, but forget about rising. They're already there, as you mentioned.
Right.
And the fact that one's St. Lucian, one is from Botswana, not American, not Jamaican. New faces are taking, different places. And speaking of Jamaica, question marks. I mean, Sharika finished the year injured. Will the pocket rocket Shelley-Ann be back? Tia's on the rise. So it's kind of mixed emotions for Jamaicans.
Yeah, you know what? Like that's. I mean, but obviously that's the call that we're gonna have to make from the start of the program. Shelley-Ann Fraser. The expectation that this is her last Olympics. Elaine, the expectation that this might be her last Olympics. Although, I mean, again, unless you have major injuries, as in something that requires surgery. So I'm thinking that in my career, what stopped my career, although I definitely tried to get back, was I blew my Achilles. I shredded my Achilles, and this was attached by thread. Neither one of these athletes have major injuries, and thank God that they don't. Elaine clearly has an Achilles. I think she had an Achilles tear, so hopefully that could be fixed. Shelley-Ann, injuries at the end of the season. Sharika, also injured. You know what? Listen, those are the three fastest. These are three of the fastest women that ever existed on this planet, and so, yeah, man. I'm looking forward to see what they're gonna do. The great thing about our sport of track and field is that there is a major championships next year, and that major championships is the World Track and Field Championships, and so I expect Elaine to come back. And although she's always incredible on Olympic years, I expect that she's going to come back and be ready for the World Championships in 2025. Shelley-Ann is gonna go down swinging. So if retirement's on the horizon for her, there is
gotta be, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying if it is. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, it's gotta
if
be.
it is, there is no chance that she's gonna just go out and be just a competitor. She's gonna go down swinging, and she's gonna give you she's gonna leave every single thing on the track. Sharika also, man. Sharika is someone that dominated the 1 and the 2. And remember, she ran the 4, right? So the injuries is what's kept her out this year. So she is going to come back. And then, obviously, those 3, plus, like you said, the Clayton twins, Alana Reed, and Brianna. I mean, dude, you're probably going to have, like, one of the biggest list of women Jamaican sprinters next year, because you have some incredible kids from the World Juniors. There's going to be some people coming out of high school, and there are certainly a lot of pro athletes that are going to have to make their stamp next year, or in 2026 they're going to have to find a job, right? So it's going to be incredible to see what the Jamaican ladies do next year in 2025, and I'm looking forward to it.
Sha'Carri. She finally got that maiden gold,
right,
in terms of the Olympics, but it wasn't in the 1. It wasn't in the 2. It was the 4x1, as we all know.
Right.
But still, assess her season, because, again, it's kind of like Lyles, where I kind of feel like it was kind of up and down.
Well, I think the expectations were that Sha'Carri was going to run quite well. I mean, that's just what it is. And frankly, so, Jason, she's been consistent, dude. She's been consistent. We always, you and I have had many discussions about what it is that she does in race. Sha'Carri is exceptional when she gets when she executes her drive phase very well, and then in the middle of the race, she separates herself from someone and from the other ladies, and someone is not on her shoulder. You understand? So I'm saying to you that the Olympic finals was a test of Julien getting out of the blocks with her, and then separating herself from Sha'Carri. So I think that she had a pretty good season myself. I think that obviously she's one of the biggest and most influential person, in the track and field sphere. And I think that she's going to probably run a couple of indoors, but she's going to come out firing on everything next year too. I mean, I'm just saying that I can't imagine that she'd be disappointed in the year that she had. I mean, she obviously an individual track and field is an individual sport. However, the consolation prize for anyone participating in an individual event, especially as a sprinter, you get a relay medal, and she got a relay gold. So she left Paris as an Olympic champion. The expectation was, obviously, was that she was going to do it in the 100 meters. That didn't happen. Right. That didn't happen. But she left as a champion. So I can't imagine that she would be complaining about the season that she had. The purpose of our sport and maybe the goal of our sport is that every single athlete, what you do, you train every day and you go to the monotonous things every day because you're spending your time trying to perfect your craft, right? And we know that obviously Sha'Carri, I mean, I know Coach Dennis quite well. He was one of those guys who could also spend some time, executing his own race. So I'm sure he's teaching the same things. I'm very certain that whatever the lessons that were learned in this season, Sha'Carri is going to go back. Dennis is going to pull out all the tools out of the toolbox and is going to tinker with her race and even come back next year to be even bigger and better.
Yeah, next year is huge for a multitude of reasons. For the veterans, can they hang around? Will they be back? The youngsters, I mean, you spoke of Gabby Thomas. We need to, Sydney McLaughlin-Lerone.
For sure.
We know she's number one. Yeah. But there's a bunch of youngsters, Mackenzie Long, Brittany Brown just winning the Diamond League final, going the half lap. Jason Shears is also in the mix. So there's a lot to look forward to next year. Abby Steiner was hurt on and off. Right. So, man, I can't wait for 2025. I mean, it's hope springs eternal. That's the best part of this time of year.
Well, for sure. I mean, you get, like we talked about, you have the established stars. You have the people that you have the athletes, the stars that fans are buying tickets to come and see these athletes compete. And then you got the like some of the names you just mentioned. You've got the young athletes that are recognize and realize that this is your time, and you have to track doesn't offer you anything for free, so you have to go and get it. And so it is time for a lot of these young athletes to come in and do what they got to do.
2-minute warning, which means just enough time to do this.
A cleaning stage with Donovan Bailey is pouring it up.
Running that anchor leg with a guy who did it quite nicely back in the day. I didn't know you called yourself a former sprinter. You still are a sprinter.
Former. Wow.
You're still a sprinter.
It
may be going through the grocery aisle. It may be going to the post box. But
it ain't
still
neither.
A sprinter.
It ain't neither. It definitely ain't neither. I ain't going to either one of those places. But I got to tell you this. I mean, I played basketball on Monday night, dude, and it was my first game, and
here come the excuses.
There's some. Let's just say that my joints need a little oil.
Okay. Absorbing Junior, Ben Gay, take your pick.
I don't know. I don't know. Whatever it is, I need an injection of oil in my
Tag a bomb.
joints.
We'll get you some. All right.
Something.
We spoke of the Diamond League. Now, those of you joining us for the first time, the anchor leg is just some quick hits, getting Donovan's take on stuff we either didn't talk about in the show or perhaps a different sport. But Diamond League Series, the money is going to increase. It's going to reach $9.2 million next season. And here's the key for me. Gender equal.
Perfect.
About damn time.
No, for me, Jason, perfect. I mean, I like any good news out of track and field, increasing funding, getting sure the kids now are getting paid more. I am 100% down for that.
Yeah, each meet between $30,000 and $50,000 per discipline. The finals between $60,000 and $100,000 per discipline. Yeah,
that's it. I'm coming back.
Good stuff there. Speaking of coming back, we have this podcast. People reach out to us. They ask questions. People want to know, I guess, because the show was back on, would Donovan Bailey, if invited, would you ever consider being a competitor on Dancing with the Stars?
I was invited before on Dancing with the Stars. No.
You know a rhythm.
But what?
You know a
I don't
rhythm.
know what y'all talked about.
You can't dance.
No, who?
So which part?
I mean, no,
And you
no,
said
no,
no?
no, but I'm just saying at the time that I was invited.
Oh, okay,
At the time, which was very soon after I retired, and I said no, and yeah, I mean it's funny enough. I was talking to my entertainment lawyer a little while back, and I'm like, yeah, I probably should have done that. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things. I don't have regrets, but I'm like, obviously as you get older and you have wisdom, you kind of go, maybe I should have done that.
You, as they say, you learned me a lot of things on this show. Entertainment lawyer? I didn't even know there was such a thing.
Sorry, bud.
When you have money. When you have money,
easy yourself.
When you have money.
Easy yourself.
Anyways, Champions League is also back, so we're just going to get some quick picks here from you, as I like to do. Atalanta against Arsenal.
Oh, jeez. Arsenal.
Good pick there. Monaco. Some people say Monaco.
It's
Up
Monaco.
to you.
It's Monaco.
Some people say Monaco.
It's
All right. Barcelona. Some people say Barcelona.
Well, we go with Barcelona.
So, okay. Atletico, Leipzig.
Atletico.
Okay, final. I want to get your quick take on this because I never did get it. Duplantis wins over Karsten.
Expected.
Wow. Expected.
Expected.
The guy ran 10.37.
100% expected.
He's a pole vaulter running
Yeah,
10.37.
he's also listen. Mondo.
He's a runner.
Well again. Let me impart some knowledge
go ahead.
and facts on
Please
you.
do learn me something.
I will
new
learn
again.
you something.
Come again, bring it. All right,
today.
Mm.
The pole vault is a power speed event.
Right.
Mondo Duplantis is from. Remember now, I'm an LSU guy. Mondo Duplantis trained as a sprinter. Trained. So his first 30 meters is what he does, or 40 meters, whatever, is what he does. He just does it with a pole, right? So yes, it was absolutely expected. Carson is fantastic, but Carson is a speed endurance guy, kind of like Michael Johnson. I'm just saying to you, there's a huge difference between power speed and speed endurance.
Wow.
And if Mondo and Carsten were to race 5 times, I am going to go Mondo 5 times.
Tell me Mondo. Okay, we started the show with me singing. We end the show with me singing.
God, no. Don't do it again.
Oh, you know what? Regardless of what he says, please continue to like, share, follow, download, subscribe. Be a part of this podcast, regardless of who your podcast provider is. As always, Jason Portuondo, Donovan Bailey saying thank you for the company. Take us out.
And until next time, peace out.